the NewsX and Business World panels on the Indian economy. We will, of course, be talking about the current state of the Indian economy and the opportunities, of course, available even in this adversity, and on how now the government and industry stakeholders must come together to rebuild the India growth story. We have with us a special panel, as always. Satish Kataria of Build Your Own Paths. He's a principal coach, is joining us live. Rajiv Khurana ji, founder of the Personal Lab Management Consultants, is also live with us. Vikas Gudkutia, founder and MD of Funds and Petals, is joining us live. Varun Mahana, CEO and founder of Poker Dangal, is with us live. Pranjal Kamra, CEO of Phenology, is also joining us live at this point. Sachin Bhatia, co-founder and global sales and marketing head for Ameo, is also live with us. Tanuja Gomes, co-founder and co-CEO of Furtado School of Music, is also joining us live. And Anurag Batra, editor-in-chief of Chairman Business World, joins the panel as well. Let me begin with Satish Kataria, if I can. Satish Kataria, decode to us what the current state of the Indian economy is as of now. How long it's really going to take to rebuild India back to its pre-COVID growth story. And so far, have the government and RBI measures been adequate?
Thanks, Dave. I think you can hear me, right? Yeah. All right. So I think all of us are quite well aware of, the economy has been battered, and I think as our respected RBI governor has quite, aptly quoted that this is one of the worst phases that our economy is going through. And I think this burn will remain for next few months because I think the impact will still overflow over the coming few months in respect to most of the industries which have been battered in this case. But I think if you look at overall scenario, I believe that things are now turning on a positive side, except for few states. The impact of COVID in most of the Indian states has kind of subdued, and economy is slowly coming back to its pre-COVID levels. A lot of sectors are coming back to the pre-COVID levels. Manufacturing, services sector are kind of seeing a kind of a traction once again. So I think over next 6 months, and also on the other hand, we are getting a lot of positive development news with respect to the vaccine development which is going on. So I think if that development also works out, and if the economy is able to kind of show a good resilience against against this downfall, and we are able to build on our Atmanirbharta point, with our respected Prime Minister ji has said. I think over next 6 months we should see certain development and definitely a positive spin on the overall economy.
Dr. Batra?
I agree with Satish that I think the worst is yet to come. I think August and September could be very tough months because till now a lot of startups and mid-sized companies are holding up. So I'm fully in agreement with Satish. Rajiv, I want to ask you, you deal with hiring, you deal with people issues. Has the last 3 months, 4 months seen employers and employees both talking to you about slowdown? And where do you see the job scenarios?
Anurag, I don't exactly and directly look after the hiring, but I do advise various boards in the corporate world. So I can talk from that perspective. But I would also like to bring in another perspective. I'm the founder trustee of Lung Care Foundation. And during the last 5 years, we've done a lot of work. So in this last 3-4 months, we have been working very closely in this specific area. Let me just expand on what you're talking about. The situation is not going to be easy in the next few months, because while the industry may show some resilience and some signs of improvement sector-wise, not all pervasive, you must keep in mind that the great celebration of air pollution is yet to start in the month of October, and that will last for 6 months. And that is going to complicate the scenario in industry. Let me share a very critical research which was done by Harvard in the US, where they found that 1 micron increase in PM 2.5 has resulted into 8% increase in the death rate amongst the COVID patients. If that being the scenario, October, November, the parali is going to come up, the winter is going to set in, air pollution will start getting at its peak. Diwali time coming in where the PM10 somewhere reaches around 2600. Situation could be very, very alarming for the industry. And this high toba is going to increase much more. So I personally believe this is the time for industry to be very, very cautious. Don't take things lying down, prepare for it, because if the PM says jaan hai to jahan hai, or jahan bhi chahiye or jaan bhi chahiye, let me tell you, this will be a time where when we talk about recovery, it will be health recovery first before we talk about the business recovery. And this is going to be a very grievous issue in front of all of us, because the numbers are going to grow and we are going
So
to
in that
face
light,
6 months
Mr.
of air
Khurana, do you
pollution now.
believe that more needs to be done by government and RBI?
It's not only the government alone,
Not
sir,
just-
everyone.
Not just that one package.
Industry also has been very, very short-sighted in terms of letting out the workers go back, and now they want them back. Where are they going to come back when the government has started schemes in various states in terms of people to stay in villages, work there, earn there? They may not even come back, even if you plan to offer them airfares to come back to the industry. Why did you let them go in the first place? You couldn't even sustain them for 2 months or 3 months. And then we talk about, in all conferences everywhere, people are our most important assets. Let me tell you, industry failed in treating their own employees as assets. And
Okay.
Anurag, to answer your question further, we are going to also see a plunge in jobs. While there are
Let's
some
take
sectors
that-
where job
let's
hiring
take
is
that-
happening, but there is going to be still pink slips.
We'll
which are
come back to.
increasing.
We'll come back to. That's a valid point. So unemployment rates may have got better as of now, but that's not a long-term, trend. Once again, we're going to be seeing joblessness in the months ahead. Is your prediction? All right. So not a very optimistic note there struck by you, but
That's a
we'll come back to
pragmatic
the
note.
first
In
one.
fact,
No,
if you want me to be only
we appreciate
share
the
a rosy
candor.
picture, then I am the misfit.
We appreciate the candor,
Yeah.
no doubt. Vikas Gurkutia, come in here. If you
Vikas,
talk about your
Vikas, I want to
sector,
ask you
your
something.
sector has been one of the most hardest hit, hasn't it? And yes, Dr. Batra, you can of course add to that. But Vikas, how have you as a company really dealt with the situation over the last 2-3 months, and how has the sector reacted to the situation, and when do you actually practically expect business will begin to pick up?
See, I probably have a different view than Mr. Khurana on this because I've been very keenly observing and watching and planning and doing whatever can be done in the last few months since we've been in lockdown. And I'm of the view that we have 3 more months of trouble. Things are improving, gradually improving every day. The mindset of the people is more positive than it was maybe 4 weeks back. And the coming 2-3 months, people have learned to live with COVID. They know what's right, what's wrong. So I think we are educated a lot as far as the COVID is concerned. Of course, there are certain limitations, but I probably feel that hunger is not going to die. The recipe might have to be changed as per the new normal. So the new normal, new recipe, new variations are the demand of the day. But at the end of the year, I'm very hopeful that we will probably be closing at higher than last year.
Okay. And tell me, as Ferns and Petals, which is the largest in its domain, there's no weddings happening, no corporate events happening. There is a worry about touching things, So tell us how you've been able to creatively pivot. You seem optimistic. So how have you been able to do some creative thinking and come up with some ideas and solutions that work for current times?
3 things are happening. One, people are waiting for the wedding to be as big as they used to be instead of going to court or doing a 50 people wedding. So there's a lot of pent-up demand waiting for the situation to improve. And then we see a very, very...
And when will that happen? Will it happen in October, November?
No, I very strongly feel that November, December, maybe 30%, 40%, but Jan, Feb, March, I think we'll have the most fantabulous season. And And as far as numbers are concerned, I think in the coming winters, the numbers will be increased from 50 to maybe 200, 250, whatever. And 50 people weddings have been pretty successful. And one good thing which has happened is all this Corona thing has happened in a period which is ideally a 6 months off season for us. If the same thing would have happened in October and went on till April, we would have been very badly hit. So it started in March, it will probably be getting easier by September, October. So November onwards in the season time, we probably have a better situation.
You know, Vikas, you're the first person on show to use the word fantabulous for these times. Normally we hear words like unprecedented, new abnormal, new normal, gloomy, bleak. But you're the first person to use the word fantabulous. And I see positivity when you said, thank God it's happened in off-season time. But for a lot of categories, air conditioners, ice creams, colas, this was peak time, you know. They've been hugely impacted, but I'm sure some of those will bounce back in the next cycle. Let's go to Varun. Varun, what are your comments on the stimulus that the government gave, and what do you feel startups are doing to pivot, orbit change, reinvent themselves?
Hi, good evening, everyone. So there are two parts to the question, Anurag. So I'll talk about the government and what the government has done so far in terms of their response for the COVID situation and how do they revive the economy. See, it's not a very easy situation to be in. Let's be understanding of the fact that these are, as you said, unprecedented times, and no government could have prepared for it, say 6 months back, that there would be in a situation like this. So, and especially with a country like India, where there are so many different challenges, we are very dynamic in the way we operate. To get the entire economy up and running again is a big challenge. I feel the government has started in the right trajectory. So the first part of opening up the economy and opening up the lockdown, that has happened. Different sectors are seeing different kind of returns from the market, and the recovery has started to happen. It will speed up when there is a vaccine or when the positivity rates of the virus start to decline. I am a very hopeful person. I'm an eternal optimist, and I believe in the next 3 months we will see a strong recovery from our economy. It has already started to happen in some sectors. Some sectors are still lagging. Definitely sectors like hospitality, aviation, they'll take a...
Any contact-based sector is
correct,
severely impacted.
Correct. The second part of the situation or the question you asked was about the startups and the ecosystem we are in. I think it is a huge opportunity for a lot of startups to pivot and to come in with the new realities and provide different solutions. By definition, a startup is about solving a certain problem which is existing in the market or might come in the near future. I am a firm believer that this is the time now when startups will come up with more innovative ideas to reach out to the customers, to provide solutions which even the customers are not aware of right now. And that will create a lot of opportunities for the startups. It will act as a big employment center in the near future. I feel startups are going to be the growth engine of our economy going forward. And my firm belief is things would be great in 2021. So let's just survive in 2021.
Just a follow-up question, Varun, for you, particularly for your company. Has it been a positive situation for you as well? Have you also seen the situation as glass half full rather than half empty? Because online gaming, interestingly, has been increasing, hasn't it?
So the sector in general has been one of the few sectors which has not been adversely affected. We have also seen a growth in terms of the number of users who are using our product, and online gaming in general has seen a baseline shift. The growth was always happening in online gaming. We are a young sector in general, and the growth was always there. I think the COVID situation has just fastened and made our growth multiply with a 2x, 3x kind of an effect. Definitely, we have benefited from people staying indoors, people staying home. The number of hours they're spending on the platform has increased. We have acquired a lot of new users who were earlier not aware or maybe didn't have the time to try on our platform. And these are the kind of solutions which will now, become the new reality. Definitely, I firmly believe in the coming 6 months, the latent demand which is already there in the market, once that is being once that demand starts getting serviced, there would be a huge recovery, a U-shaped recovery, you can say, which is on the cards. Definitely, online gaming in general will continue to grow, and as a sector now become more mainline. We were just getting started 3 years back, but the kind of response we've seen in the last 6 months has given me a lot of optimism to say that 2021 would be a great year for online gaming and Indian economy in general.
Okay, Tanuja, your initial comments on how you see the economic stimulus and where is the economy headed?
Okay. I think, everybody has covered the very grim side and the very positive side. I will definitely lean towards the positive side as an entrepreneur. We are in the space of music education. Before COVID, we had 75,000 students across the country. We largely work with schools. What we have definitely seen in the last 3 months is a complete pivoting of online. I feel as an economy, we are going to add a very strong new segment. We know that online segment is huge and, companies have been growing. But I see that further being strengthened. And for an edtech sector where consumers are forced today, like we are having this conference right now, we are all coming together and we are going to find opportunities and maximize like this. So as an entrepreneur, people have to pivot, whether it's going to be a V-shaped economy, whether it's going to be a W-shape or, all the different, I don't think anybody knows, right? It's like, we don't know. It is possible. At the outset, when it was 3 months, nobody expected, we'll be here sitting for about 3-4 months like this. So, for us, I think we pivoted. I'm feeling when I'm talking to fellow entrepreneurs, we have to find solution. We are finding new customer segments which we've never found, and therefore we are creating products for those customer segments in a very agile manner. I think agility as a business will be the key mantra for all of us.
Okay. Uday?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a valid point. And I want to take that, of course, to the CEO of Phenology, who's also with us, Pranjal, because you're also an entrepreneur. So, of course, you can perhaps give some advice as well to your fellow entrepreneurs on, on how to react and adapt to this current situation. But if we speak about your venture, if we speak about your sector, how badly hit have you been? And how much has the government stimulus come to the aid of the MSME sector?
Right. So, being a completely online fintech venture, we have been positively impacted because, as a previous panelist told, that people staying indoors is good for us. And as you would have seen a lot of data shared by brokerages as well, that account openings for investments have been at an all-time high. So, if account openings are more, by extension, that means people need more tools to analyze stocks. People are subscribing for more courses and they need more advice. So people's interest in the stock market in India have been at an all-time high since, I'm tracking the stock market. I've never seen common people interested in the market so much. So that is a good thing for our sector,
and
especially online.
Because for a lot of people, they were making money from other sectors and they're shut. So they see stock markets as a possible way to kind of compensate for that. I can say that for my own wife. So I know that for sure.
But this is a trend which we are saying, we are very concerned also because for the first time we are getting senior citizens calling us and telling that they want to trade in stocks or invest in stocks. So because people are free more time and also they are not sure of their active income, they are viewing it as a definite source of replacing that active income. So this trend we are really worried about. But general interest has increased. And secondly, regarding entrepreneurship, I would like to tell you one very positive factor that the employee-employer relationship will improve because the employer will also realize that you cannot stand on the head of the employee and make him work. He'll realize in this during the work from home scenario that if you treat your employees...
What we call presentism, you come to the office, punch a card, that doesn't mean much. It's about responsibility and proactiveness. So you're so right in your analysis.
Yeah. Right. So I am seeing this. So we are able to function smoothly because of our attrition rate was low, and all the older employees that we have, it's very smooth to work with them in this work from home scenario. Whereas the new hires coming in, it's really difficult to get them
assimilated in the culture of the company. So people will realize the importance of their workforce, treat them better, and also I saw this in Israel that they build products for the world because their domestic population is hardly anything. So Indians, because we are adopting first efficiency, because of our cash flows have reduced, we are gaining more and more efficiency, and we are introducing automation even in our back-end processes, even if it's not a tech company. So that way we are automatically becoming more competitive to fight these global bigger competitors. So overall, Indian companies will become more efficient in competition.
And Pranjal, what has also happened, we've talked to entrepreneurs for the first time in lots of businesses. Entrepreneurs now believe in the fact that cost should be lesser than the revenues.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely.
For the first time, all my friends believe this new phenomenon where you have to be revenue surplus. Because earlier, capital was available very easily, and you had a longer horizon on the ROI. Right now, the capital is not available, and you got to sustain, which can only happen if you have a profitable business model. Sachin, your opening comments.
I would actually lovely comment on the profitability, and I've been running a profitable company for last 15 plus years, and now is the time to tell the world that maybe solid foundation is what was required to run businesses. So let me talk a little bit about our space first. We're in the space of customer engagement technology, and there's a very interesting observation. So as individuals, as human beings, there's actually more personal connect happening with your friends, with your family in COVID times. I don't know if everybody is agreeing, but we are talking more to our friends on WhatsApp and Zoom, and instead of when it was possible to physically visit them. The same is happening in the business to consumer engagement also. There is more anxiety, so there's more uncertainty, and consumers are engaging more with businesses. And the reasons are also like, I think Pranjal also mentioned, there are newer segments also which are engaging with customers, which is in fact very good for our segment, because any sort of interaction, whether it's sales, service, collections, that's where our business sort of gets a fillip. The challenge has been on, in a contact center kind of segment, how do you make sure infrastructure works? And there is and you were talking about what government can do. Department of Telecom has a very serious policy on what is called OSP, which is currently, I think it's relaxed till 31st of July. We expect government to take long-term actions there. And once that happens, you can have, there'll be wonderful things happening in India. For example, you could hire housewives who can work from home, for 3-4 hours. So this will enable stuff that was not feasible. So as an entrepreneur, I'm also an optimist. I'm also a realist that you have to look at what are the real opportunities. So we did some unit economics. I think a 12.5 up to 12.5% gross margin in contact centers could be saved if they play their cards right. They've been forced to think how to run this remotely. If they can do that, and people who will do it will sort of survive for much longer and thrive for much longer. So in our space, great. You also mentioned about economic stimulus. I've been a keen observer. I think the government did right by saying that we're going to enable MSMEs to think, but MSMEs will have to think beyond support. So as entrepreneurs, it is the time. What does an entrepreneur do? You solve problems. Now, if I ask a simple question, are there more problems today or less problems? There are more problems. So if you pick the right problems, you will definitely make a business out of it. It's just a question of don't look for support. Business as usual is not going to happen. If you're an entrepreneur, look for a problem that you can solve and pick it and make Bharat Atmanirbhar, as they say. That is what is going to happen, in my view. I'm an eternal optimist. I think there are sector-wise, obviously there are problems. Anurag mentioned about physical touch and high contact, but in most sectors, we'll see entrepreneurship coming in. At a macro level, you are hearing news that Google is going to invest that much in the digital economy. So those are the right signs. At the micro level, I'm seeing entrepreneurs really thinking about problems very hard instead of taking a Me Too approach of, I will be what US is doing this, I will do it here. No, they are finding India-specific problems, and that's a wonderful place to be in for India right now.
Fantastic, Sachin. Uday, the beauty of these conversations is over the last 8 weeks, we met entrepreneurs, four to six entrepreneurs every day, and we get such positive story. While we're very mindful of the fact that a lot of people are facing issues, both in terms of their health and in terms of livelihood. I think the future is more optimistic than we sometimes kind of see.
Indeed, indeed. And, just quickly taking off from that point, and before I think we're probably going to slip into a short break at some point. But Tanuja, quickly coming back to you at this point, do you believe that this pandemic and the current situation will impact the future of music education? It's going to change the way music education is perceived and imparted, going forward. Interestingly, I've spoken to a lot of musicians on my shows, who've taken to teaching music at this point, as an additional revenue source for them, of course, but also something that they're giving back, to the community with.
Sure. So, if I give you the numbers, so for example, in the last 3 months, we've taught over 25,000 students online. Now that entire TG and the community, how this all happened out of zero. We were never really an online business before this. So if you ask me, I think this is a beautiful time to learn, to pivot, to grow, and to enable this whole learning. Like, it was discussed how people are getting into financial literacy, how people are finding opportunities. At this point of time, this whole I want to do something which helps me and makes me feel good is really out there in everybody. Music is a part of a checklist for I'm sure everyone here at some point of time would have thought, I want to learn guitar or keyboard. 95% of my friends have all the time expressed that. And we are making that happen. Whether it is voice, and it helps you, whether all that people are engaging now, people are looking at self-preservation. So I think for us and our business, while there has been a setback, like, it has been discussed, there's no denial. We have 350 employees before COVID. So there's a huge, change, but I think it's a beautiful time to make world a flat place. There are lots of NRIs that are reaching out to us, and, very actively we are having this whole platform. We've created, in 8 weeks, we've created a whole online platform which covers all arts for your right brain development. So whether you want music, whether you want drama, whether you want languages, everything related to arts, at some point of time, that should go into performance. So
There I say, music is about creativity. And if the research has proved that if school children are exposed to more music, they become overall more creative. And I can say that I have 2 children. And yesterday I was doing a conversation with the GIS School of Music. So I did a conversation with Shekhar and Atul. And really the kind of, music is not just about music. It's about, unlocking the potential of the child. So I think similarly, music is, people are stressed, they're uncertain, they don't know how long this will last. Too many variables. Music is also a, soothing balm.
True.
It is proven scientifically, and in health, there are health benefits to listening to music. So, it calms you down, it makes you happy, and it slows you down. So I think that's depending on what music you listen to. So I think
Mr. Khurana,
I'd just like to add to that in terms of the power of reaching out to the youngsters. I'm a social entrepreneur, and at Lung Care Foundation, we have reached out to lakhs and lakhs of students across India in terms of enabling them during this last 3 months itself, in terms of what kind of a role can they play. Even we have thrown them challenges like my creative lockdown challenges, where students, while confined at home, created videos and uploaded those videos. And they have really surprised us with a massive amount of creativity they could. We have also been teaching students in terms of the life values, various kinds of skills. And every week we are doing 2 or 3 such kind of programs where we reach out to the students, including their parents sit along with that, and the teachers also sit along. So this is a very powerful thing. Of course, we are not making any money out of it because it is all pro bono activity, but students definitely surprise us.
Okay. And Mr. Khurana, interestingly, you had struck a realist note, not an optimistic note, but a realist perspective.
Don't brand me for that, please.
No, please, not at all. But I want you then to before we open it up to some wider questions as well, how then can we get optimistic? What steps immediately need to be taken short term by the government and by industry? You said it's as they say, a clap is 2 hands have to come together. So both obviously need to do something. What do they need to do in the short?
Oh, the break has been announced, I believe.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, fine. Very quickly. You see, when we are talking in terms of what should happen, Today, public is generally confused. We are not looking in terms of only the youngsters in the startups doing businesses, but let's talk with people across. Is the packaging a repackaging or is it a real packaging? People are confused. Is it more focused or is it window dressing? Is it a strategy based or it is a knee-jerk reactions that have happened? Is it enabling or just appeasing so far? Is it with a fresh mindset or it is the same old sanctions which have been happening? Is it investment in the new zeal or little substance but brand building only, which people generally call it as a jumlebaji? Are we really true about the vocal about local? And on top of it, when we are talking about injecting into the market, we are only talking about liquidity, making funds available. How about ensuring that equity also increases? People trust those small and medium enterprises who may not be typical IT-enabled startups, but anyone who is having an ice cream parlor is also a startup in a smaller city. How is he viewing it? People are confused. Whereas the bigger industry as of today is looking in terms of wait, watch and see. The employees in most of these organizations are talking in terms of see us now, don't watch, do something right now, because they are scared what may happen to them. They are not sure about it. So the picture is really, really confusing for people, and therefore something has to be done right at the top in terms of bringing about some amount of clarity, enthusiasm, energy into the people that, okay, this too shall pass. We all will have to collectively work towards it. And when you say it takes two hands to clap, everyone, because if we think that, okay, 2020 has to be like 2019 or 2018, it's not going to be possible. Maybe 2021 could be fabulously brilliant, fantabulous as he's talked about. But as of today, we have to still pass through the time. We have 6 to 9 months to go and grow. And don't have very high expectation. It is important to stay and survive. And therefore, everyone has to realize his own responsibility to just continue what you are doing. And at the same time, those who are getting very badly affected, do something for them.
Time now for us to open it up to some wider questions. Dr. Batra, please go ahead.
Raji, you brought in a new angle today of air quality kind of compounding COVID issues if they happen to coexist in October, November. Tell us what the government can do to deal with it, and what can citizens do to deal with it, and how do we integrate approach to health, to COVID, to economy? You know, how do we bring all the elements together?
Thanks, Anurag. This is a very important question that you asked. Internationally, most of the countries are talking about recovery of the economy through health. So if it is not a healthy recovery, it really does not make sense. And I keep talking about ABC. Air pollution, business and COVID, all three will go hand in hand. The trouble is COVID came to us totally unprepared. We were not prepared. But we were never prepared for air pollution also. Do you know, world over, we lose 7 million people every year because of air pollution. World over, the total loss in terms of labor income is $225 billion US. Everyone talks about it, they do not do anything about it. And let me tell you, there are not going to be short-term solutions for this. Why? I mean, if I go by the what the WHO says, World Health Organization, if people were to live by the standards prescribed by WHO, every Delhiite will live 10 years more. The trouble is, in India, it only is news and statistics. Last year, near Diwali, in London, the PM10, particulate matter 10 was 25 and it made the front page news. Around Diwali, in Delhi, the PM10 was 2,600, it never made the news. And this is going to be a very major issue because we are not prepared. We are not prepared for Parali, which is start flowing into Delhi and around area. And the number of PM 2.5, etc. would skyrocket. In any case, the average PM 2.5 is 143 in Delhi and around. With that, you mean, even if you're a non-smoker, you're smoking roughly around 7 cigarettes a day. What happens when it reaches...
You're saving on the cigarette money.
Sorry, sir?
You're saving on the money you spend
I'm
on
not,
cigarettes.
yeah, fine, if you enjoy that. The cigarette smokers actually damage themselves further.
Well, yes,
then around Diwali time, it is triple.
International reports also suggest that fatality rate amongst COVID-19 patients increases because of smoking.
It is
there's
the research says, sir,
yeah.
it is 2.5 times more dangerous for a smoker to enter into ICU and be on the ventilator.
Okay, I have to
That's
move
the
on.
statistics.
Let me quickly bring back some others.
This is our gloomy figure, so maybe let's go into the more positive stuff discussion.
Vikas, come in here on, of course, what more government and RBI needs to do now. Now, we are learning possibly there can be some steps on the anvil for the tourism sector, the hospitality sector from the RBI once again, considering it's these two are most stressed sectors currently. But for your sector, what more can the government do? What more can the RBI do? And Vikas, also, what sort of timeline are you thinking of yourself by when things can get back to this new norm?
Thanks. Now, two things. One, government policies and stimulus, which will help us recover in this situation. I have a different view altogether. Government has been doing, and if you look at last 3 months, every day something or the other is happening. I think every battle has to start from the bottom. Government is on top. We as individuals have to realize that this is the moment India has to conquer the world. We have to, the kind of diverse country we are and the kind of skill and talent we have. I guess if we put that together, no stimulus is required. Stimulus is only required when you are sick. We are not sick. We are not aware. And I think in the last 4 months, 5 months, we have worked more with our mind than with our body. So we all are kind of willing to take a sprint once we are unlocked. So government will keep doing its bit, but I think all of us as Indians need to play a larger role. Number two, as far as the business is concerned, yes, it's not been a good year, and I don't know how many people will recall this as a happy business year. But yes, toward the end of the year, I definitely see things improving a lot. And by the time we close the financial year, we should not be very disappointed.
I think I would like to interject here. I think as Vikas rightly said, Uday, change has to become from bottom, and I think a very critical factor becomes about the mindset. Because since people have suffered losses, people have seen all the negative news around them. It becomes extremely critical at this juncture to kind of restore and maintain a positive mindset, amongst all of us, because that is something which would really take us, through this phase in a successful manner, right? We have seen cases where people are facing a lot of psychological challenges during this phase, and they have to understand that, just like any other tough challenge, even this phase is not here for permanent. Everything like everything else, they also have to understand the value of impermanence, right? That this phase will also pass away. All they have to do is I think all they have to do is just hold on, just consolidate on whatever strength, whatever resources they have, and wait for the right time to strike back. So that mindset training, that positive mindset, also becomes quite critical as a factor during this phase, especially.
Okay. Vikas, I want to ask you one question. You're optimistic and realistic at the same time. And I just want to know that do you see a change of doing business even when we return to normal in the industries that are very high contact industries, but there's no fear of COVID, it's gone, there's a vaccine. What will stay and what will go away? Let's take your business.
I think we have all become wiser. We have understood life better. And sometimes when you're in a rat race and you are just running around without thinking, you seem to make mistakes. So I think we are wiser. And when you are wiser, you do a lot of things which are maybe more normal, which are more logical, which has a lot more value. So I definitely feel a lot of mind, a lot of positive mind, and a lot of programmed mind will govern our thoughts beyond Corona. Number two, I also very strongly feel that See, everything happens for a cause. Now, whether what good we take out of a situation is what we should do as an entrepreneur. Now, say for example, it's not that I'm trying to suggest anything. It's a season of people dying. Why not start funeral services? I mean, people need help to kind of bury their. Everything has possibilities. Now, when I look at online, I think we are at a better than pre-COVID level right now. It's bounced back like anything. So when online has gone that way, so maybe we focus on. So depending on a lot of factors which are governing us, we should be wise and make sure we make sense out of it. And one more thing I want to say, and this is a big appeal to everybody. When we are earning and we are profit-making company, and whenever there is a situation and there is a loss in the kind of money we make, we start grieving. We start looking at government, bachao, help kar do, ye kar do, wo kar do. This is a situation where government wants your help. We as entrepreneurs should, use our earning to help government sustain the country and help poor. So absolutely, that's the way I look at the whole situation. If you look at it that way.
And, I now know that why you've been able to build such a big business while others have stayed small and you've gone and created multiple dimensions. At the end of the day, consumer behavior in a lot of categories has changed forever.
Yeah.
What Vikas was essentially saying, we're asking questions, do we need this? Can we do it more efficiently? Is this needed in my life? Can I do without it? So I think that's the kind of question. You cut the frills, you focus on the main things and find the positive spots in that. Now tell us, because of the nature of the business you're in, what kind of consumer behavior is here to stay and what is temporary? It's a temporary change, and as we find a vaccine, as Corona recedes, we'll be back to our old ways.
I think there are two parts to it. One part is, we are in the business of luxury, and luxury is very badly hit. And people who are our target clients, they probably will not be able to do destination weddings because travel is impossible. They'll all be getting married in India. People are scared of flying. So even in India, domestic weddings will not happen. So all those weddings will happen locally in their city. So number of weddings will increase. The venues are limited. The dates are limited. We've just started a campaign saying, हर दिन सुबह, जब जीने की डेट नहीं, मरने की डेट नहीं, तो शादी की डेट क्यों? वैसे शादियां नहीं टिकती. So the idea here is that people will spend, people will enjoy the wedding, but yes, people who are not absolutely in that luxury segment, who take life as life, will probably be spending more sensibly and will probably not be overspending and throwing money like they used to be.
Yeah.
Better sense will definitely.
I think Varun has a point to make. Yes, Varun, go ahead.
I wanted to talk more from what the government can do and where we are currently and how do we bring things to better place. So there are two parts to it as I see it. One is we really have to push Make in India, local for vocal. It has to happen now. This is actually a very good opportunity for young entrepreneurs like myself to come in and really express what we can offer to the community. The onus is on us to bring a good product, to bring a good marketing mix to the product, but we need the help of the government right now to boost Make in India. When it comes to gaming, there are multiple applications available which are from Chinese origin or American origin, which are very popular in our country. I'm not saying ban those, but there should be some incentives given to Indian gaming ecosystem and Indian gaming companies which are trying to build products. That is point number one. Point number two, as I said, I firmly believe startups and the new businesses are going to be the growth engine for the future. These are also going to be big employment centers. I know a lot of friends who are passing out from B schools or engineering colleges right now who are really struggling to find jobs or they've got the offer letter but they're not getting the joining letters or the joining dates. I think the government has to step in here to try and incentivize people to create more jobs, to give an opportunity to the people who are entering the workforce a starting point. And I think these are some of the places where the government can play a really helping hand. They don't need to provide stimuluses or packages to bail us out, but they can.
Do you also appreciate the digital strike of banning of 59 apps, and you believe possibly that should be extended, and incentives parallelly should be given to homegrown apps and homegrown companies?
Well, there are two parts to it. Banning someone, is killing the competition, and then it harms the product which you're trying to create. What we as entrepreneurs need to do is create better products than what are available in the market. So banning them would be just a very quick fix and a very quick solution, but probably our products would lack quality and our products won't be world class and be able to compete with these products. We have to make products. As an entrepreneur, it's my responsibility.
I have contrarian view on you, Varun. China has done exactly that. It blocked everyone and it's built world-class company.
Correct. So that's what
Sachin is responding. Go ahead.
I also think there will be no dearth of competition. So India has enough internal competition. Though I agree with you, this was a great opportunity. This will continue to be a great opportunity, and we should utilize it. As an entrepreneur, if this opportunity has been given to us, we should utilize it. Philosophy of good or bad stays at, what caused this, we all know, right?
Correct. So that's what I was mentioning, that we have to create world-class products, and then definitely, Uday, coming back to you, we need some incentives from the government to create that ecosystem where more and more people are coming up with products which are suitable to Indian palate. And definitely we need incentives for job makers, job creators, because I think
if I can, sorry.
So specifically there are two kinds of things. One kind of support that I think the government can easily roll out to us. See, we know US that we can dole out packages after packages. Our government does not have the bandwidth to provide that. But having said that, when we are saying that entrepreneurs and companies can become efficient, the government can also roll out a lot of non-fiscal benefits. Like the government can become more efficient. For example, we work at an AIC, Atal Incubation Center, and I believe there are a lot of Atal Incubation Centers in all of the major states of the country. Now, these Atal Incubation Centers, they can provide startups a lot of non-monetary benefits, like spaces are lying vacant. So the rents could be subsidized and at least those spaces can be utilized. A lot of SaaS-based products which are not available to Indian startups because these startup ecosystems have not tied up with these foreign companies providing SaaS solutions. Although these companies roll out startup-based free credits to all startups. So these tie-ups can be done. It does not involve any cost on part of the government. And second was regarding these lockdowns that are happening again in certain states. There has to be certain clarity that if these many cases are found in a city in these many days or in a state in these many days, the state or the city goes into lockdown. What we are seeing is randomly some states closing down if 1,000 cases happen in a week, some states closing down when 5,000 cases happen. So when you are urging businesses to become Atmanirbhar, go out, work, these businesses need to be sure that, okay, if 5,000 cases are leads in my locality, I'll go into lockdown. So
then, we're a federal structure, so states also have certain powers, that they can exercise. And that's
I have a very clear actionable for, and Anurag, would vouch if you can take some of the, government people ask this question. If we calculate what percentage of technology or software is bought in the Indian private sector from Indian companies, can the government of India ensure that at least that much percentage of technology be bought by the government by Indian companies? I think that itself we create, if private sector is happy doing it, government can also, but it's such a difficult structure, even today with Modi government, it's such a tough structure to go to the government and sell something, even as a mid-sized company. If that can be solved, it will create a lot of economic stimulus, at least for the software sector.
Thank you. We're coming to the fag end of the show. We'd like to ask each of you your view on the economy going forward. So a short answer, tweetable, binary. I'll start with Tanuja. Where will be the Indian economy in next 6 months? Will it be good? It will be bad? It will be like today, which is tepid?
Yeah, I am not optimistic about the recovery in the short run for everybody, because the damage of this is huge in the economy sense and in your feeling sense. There's a huge fear that is there. Having said that, but for entrepreneurs to pivot, for me personally, I feel this will be a relearning. I have restarted a whole new business.
Short answer, specific answers. Satish Kadaria, good, bad, worse.
Yeah, I think it will be a moderate growth. Certain sectors will definitely grow, as we all discussed. Entrepreneurs will pivot to new businesses, and that will attract sufficient growth. But overall, I think it will see a moderate growth happening forward.
Vikas Gudgutia.
I think we've been part of the unorganized business in terms of weddings. I would like to see post-corona a Sadi Mantralaya, wedding ministry, to govern us.
The Ministry of Weddings, okay? And who should be the minister? We have to select one. We'll come back to you on that. But Rajiv Khurana, on a serious note,
partially struggling, partially hopeful. The major change which is needed is the government and especially the bureaucracy has to turn the table from being a controller to being an enabler. Let there be appraised on their performance of how fast do they help in making a recovery rather than controlling and applying brakes intermittently all the time.
Varun?
I think it's going to get better. We have to take baby steps right now before we start sprinting, and we will sprint in 2021.
Okay. Thank you for the specific comment. Sachin Bhatia?
Anurag, I think a lot will be broken, but a hell lot more will be built.
Beautifully put. A lot would be broken. By the way, I'm a Hindu. I believe in the trinity of gods. You have to do creative destruction. Shiva destructs. That's creative destruction.
Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh.
Can you build on that? Last word, Praful.
Pranjal, yeah.
Pranjal.
So in the long run, I believe India will do very, very good. Cheapest internet in the world, young population rearing to go. I see India's future to be really bright.
Well, let's hope for that.
Diwali demand will be back or not back, Pranjal?
Sorry?
Around Diwali, the demand will be back like last year?
I don't have an opinion on it. That depends on how cases
Okay.
rise.
Well, let's certainly hope that the India growth story returns back on track very soon. My thanks to all of you for joining us on this particular special panel.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.